What's going on, everybody? I'm Terrence, and this is Bank Shipping. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, and we are at one of our customers. They called me on Friday and asked me if I could run this load, pick it up first thing in the morning, and have it dropped off same day. So we are here. It's about 6:30 or so. Just backed into the bays, and we're going to get ready to get out and see what they got for us. I know they're calling for some winter weather, some snow and some ice all the way up the 81 corridor. So we're going to try to hurry up, get loaded, get strapped down, get tarp, all that good stuff, so we can hurry up and get up there, hurry up and get back. Try not to get in too much of this winter weather, because Interstate 81 is treacherous when it's ice and snow and all that stuff, because people just bang into everything. So trying not to be a part of that today, trying not to have a long wait because of an accident, stuck in traffic. So let's see if we can do this pretty quick. So I'll get back with y'all. All right, guys, so we got loaded. This is probably one of my favorite customers, because every time I come here and think that I'm getting a full load, I get something like this. 18 feet long. I think it's like 900 pounds, 1,000 pounds, something like that. Real low, light, short, easy. So we're gonna get our straps on here, get our tarps on here, and we'll get out of here. All right, guys, we got strapped down and tarped down. Everything looks good, nice and pretty, nice and tight. So we are going to head up to Pennsylvania and get this thing dropped off. I'll see y'all at the drop off. All right, guys, we have made it to our drop off. No snow, no ice yet, but it's supposed to be coming here shortly. I heard on the CB on the way up here that the governor of Pennsylvania is already thinking about putting commercial bans on the interstates because of the weather coming. So I'm trying to hurry up, get out of here so that I don't get stuck. Not planning on getting stuck. And if it ain't that bad on the roads, I probably am going to drive anyway, just so I can get back out of Pennsylvania to where they don't really have commercial bans, and then I don't have to worry about being stuck anywhere. So waiting on the customer. I guess he ran somewhere to get something, so he's not here. So there is, sorry about that, phone going off. So there's nobody to unload me. So we're going to get out. We're going to untarp, unstrap. That way we are ready for when the guy gets back. He can just pick it off and I can get out of here. So I'll see y'all in a minute. Okay, so we have made it safely back to our yard. Didn't run into any snow or ice on the way back. Just kind of like drizzled rain the whole time. I guess later on that's supposed to turn into ice and snow. I don't know. I guess we'll, see when that time gets here. I'd love to be a weatherman because, you say, it might snow, it might rain, might get some ice. I don't know, and everybody freaks out, oh, it's going to snow. Let's go to the store and buy everything. And then it turns out that you don't get nothing. It's one of the only jobs you can be completely wrong in and nobody's mad at you. But anyway, I saw where I guess, because of the storm coming, Pennsylvania and Jersey had some commercial bans already, and then some coming later on this afternoon. So good thing we made it home. Don't have to deal with none of that. So, but one thing I wanted to talk about before I get off here, last video, I'm sure you guys saw like the little words up at the top right here at the beginning of the video that said, for factoring and fuel card, check the link in the description. That's something that, I partnered with RTS. They offer factoring and fuel cards. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, factoring, because some people know what factoring is. A lot of people that are getting into the business have no idea what factoring is. So I kind of wanted to clear the air on that. I didn't just want to put something up there and, everybody be like, well, what in the world is that? They're checking the description. They don't know what it is. So I'll explain that now. So, when you're running freight, I'm not too sure on cars. Most the people that I know that run cars, a lot of it's cash on delivery. So you don't have to worry about not getting paid or anything right away. But a lot of times when you're running freight, a lot of these places, a lot of these brokers have a 30-day or 60-day or even 90 days to pay. So essentially it would take you that long to get payment on a load that you did. So, if I did a load today, I might not get that payment until 30, 60, 45, 90 days later, however long it takes. So that's where a factoring company comes in. So what a factoring company does is they basically buy your loads. They pay you for that load, basically whatever your rate was for that load, they'll give you that rate. Now, of course, they take a small percentage, and each factoring company is different. But a lot of them, they take a small percentage and they'll pay you within 24 hours. It all depends on, who the factoring company is. Some people's 24, some's 48, some same day if you get it in before a certain time. It all depends on which factoring company it is. But then what they do after they pay you for that, they submit all your paperwork and everything to the broker that you worked with, and then the broker essentially pays them. So what it is basically somebody in the middle that pays you up front relatively quickly so that you don't have to wait that 30, 60, or 90 days to pay. Now, with that being said, there are some misconceptions with factoring companies. One of the biggest misconceptions is you send in your paperwork and you ain't got to worry about nothing. You get paid and it is what it is. You don't have to worry about any paperwork or anything like that. The broker or the factoring company handles all that. And that isn't true. So if you send in a load, you send in your paperwork, your rate con and your proof of delivery. If you send in that load and then the factoring company pays you out for that load, and then the broker never pays the factoring company for that load that they bought off of you, they're not going to eat that cost. What's going to happen is they're going to back charge you for what they paid you because they haven't been paid yet. So essentially then what you have to do is you have to go after the broker for payment. Now, sometimes some things happen, some paperwork gets lost in transition, and the broker just forgets to pay, or they didn't get the paperwork or whatever. And in that sense, if they actually do pay, then of course you'll get that money back. But if they never pay, the factoring company isn't going to eat that cost. They are going to back charge you that. So don't think that, if you send a load to your factoring company and the broker never pays, that you're okay. The factoring company is going to eat that cost. Just like any other business, they're going to come get their money. They're going to take it back from you. And another thing, another common misconception is that the factoring company does all the work. You send in your loads, done with it, and that's not the case either. A lot of times the factoring company will contact you if there's a problem with that broker and their payment. They might call you, and if you got a personal rep or a good relationship with your rep, and they might call you and say, hey man, such and such broker hasn't paid yet, can you give them a call and see what's going on? So a lot of times you still have to do some legswork if something comes up missing that way. And it's a good practice too, that way you don't get back charged. I know when I factor loads, if there's something going on, I'll call the broker myself and say, hey, where's this payment at? Let's get down to the bottom of it. Do you need another copy of the paperwork? The POD, what's going on? That way I don't get back charged. So those are two of the main misconceptions that I hear a lot when it comes to factoring companies. Some people don't like factoring companies. They don't like giving that extra 2, 3, 4, 5%, whatever it is, to somebody who may essentially be looked at as a middleman. Some people say after you grow, to a decent sized fleet, you don't need a factoring company anymore. And there may come a time where you might not need a factoring company. You might be okay, with how your loads are staggered and everything. You're running multiple trucks. Money might just be coming through and you're okay waiting that 30 days. But there are big fleets out there that use factoring companies. So don't let that discourage you from using a factoring company of, well, once I get bigger, I'm not going to use one anymore. Well, that's fine. You can use one now, and then when you get bigger, if you don't want to use it, don't use it. But just know there are big fleets out here that use factoring companies because a lot of people just don't want to deal with waiting 30 or more days to get paid. So that's what that all is about in a nutshell when it comes to factoring. Each factoring company offers different things. Each factoring company may offer a different factoring rate as far as how much percentage they're going to take out of that load for factoring. Others may offer a fuel card along with your factoring. Some may not. It's all about doing your research when you're looking for a factoring company. Like if you're just getting started in the business, or even if you're in the business and want to go to a factoring company, or you want to switch factoring companies. It's all about doing your research, give some calls out, call some, get some information on each factoring company, to see which one suits your needs the best. One may take more percentage, than the other, but offer a fuel card, whereas the other doesn't, so it's all about a balancing act. If you can find that one factoring company that gives you a low factoring percentage as well as offers you a great fuel card and maybe some software or something like that, it's a win-win. I factor, and I've never had a problem factoring. It's pretty easy. The technology these days, you can pretty much do everything straight from your phone. You can upload your PODs and your rate cons and things like that. And another good thing about the factoring companies is they kind of keep you away from dealing with bad brokers. Because see, these factoring companies aren't just going to pay you out on a load from anybody. The brokers that they're going to work with are the ones who have a habit of always paying. If they take too long to pay, or they have a habit of not paying, that factoring company is not going to work with them. And what you'll see a lot of times is, on your app or whatever that you have for whatever factoring company, if they have one, they'll have credit ratings for those brokers, and they'll tell you when you first sign up or whatever, they only work with, brokerages that are rated A, B, or C according to, their ratings. And that way, that keeps you from dealing with a broker that may not pay you at all. So it kind of gets you in it kind of keeps you out of trouble a little. Well, not really trouble, but keeps you out of dealing with messy brokers. Because we all know in the trucking industry, there are a lot of messy brokers. So it kind of keeps you out of that loop. You don't have to worry about it. You can just use the brokers that are, that have a good credit rating with that company, so that, almost 10 times out of 10 that you're going to get paid because this broker has a good credit rating. Like I said, when you're looking for your factoring companies, or if you're switching one or whatever, it's best to do your research, see what their factoring rates are, see, it's a good question to ask, how many, how much money that they process in a day. You kind of get an idea of if they're a smaller factoring company or a bigger factoring company. Maybe you want a smaller factoring company so it's more tailor made to you, or maybe you want a bigger factoring company because they may work with more brokers and they're more apt to doing the job. And then, like I said, they may offer a fuel card or some other incentives to sign up with them. And then once you sign up with them, after you get a relationship with them, a lot of times, your factoring percentage may go down or something like that to keep you going along and keep that relationship good. If you guys are interested in factoring, I highly suggest that you guys go down to the link in the description, and go to that page and just check out a few things from RTS. And if you want more information, there's a spot that you can put your name and info and stuff in there to contact somebody, and somebody will get in contact with you, and they'll be more than happy to answer all your questions. So with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. Got some things to do. As always, stay prayed up, grind hard, and stay humble.